see if this works. What's going on, everybody? What's up? What's up? That this actually works. I have a really short message today. Really short message. It's Monday. I know you guys are busy, so I am as well. I'm in between meetings here, but I wanted to talk about the little stuff. And how much the little stuff matters. There was a quote, and the little stuff matters. The little stuff matters whether you're aspiring for something or if you're having issues or challenges. There was a quote that I read a long time ago, and it said that it's not the mountain, it's not the size of the mountain that stops many from climbing. It's never the size of the mountain. It's that little pebble in your shoe, and that just goes to show that a lot of the little stuff can matter more than you think. So in business, as a business owner, there are plenty of business owners, I believe, that they don't pay enough attention to the little stuff, and so and it's actually very apparent in a lot of stuff that we encounter today, right? So like an example would be like, you eating the way that you eat, right? You don't eat a McDonald's hamburger and then the next day you have cancer, or the next day you have diabetes, or the next day you have heart conditions. That's not how it works. It's this little progressive habit being built, that little action done over and over again that progresses you towards certain issues. But the same thing happens with progress, right? Like the other day, well, actually last week I went through my car. And I went through my house, and I got this bucket of, like, I just threw all the quarters, anything that was shiny. I threw all the shiny stuff in my house that was in drawers, in buckets, in bags. I threw all of that stuff into like a little bucket, and I took it down to Publix, and I dumped it all into that little change machine, right? So of course it's sifted through all of the quarters, the dimes, the nickels, and it amounted to $100 and something worth of quarters, right? And of course they took their 9%, but I would say that was a lot of money relative, right? That's a lot of money just sitting around your house. You're looking at it from a standpoint of, hey, that's just a little quarter, or that's just a little dime, or that's but collectively, that adds up. It can add up to a lot. It can be significant. I noticed just the other day, I folded up a ton of clothes in my closet, and I realized that, just habit-wise, that one shirt that you just throw on the ground and you just leave it there, that one shirt turns into 2 shirts, turns into 3 shirts, turns into 5, turns into a shirt and a set of shirts and a pants. And then it ends up becoming a mountain full of clothes that you ultimately have to end up doing something with, right? But at the same time, it was that one little action that amounted to that mountain of clothes that you now have to address, right? So those 2 examples change. There's another example too. That one little file that you put on your desktop, on your computer. That one little file that you put on your desktop amounts to 2, amounts to 5, amounts to 10. All of a sudden, you have a desktop riddled of icons and files that many times you don't even know what to do with. I know, actually, no, you know what? I know some of you that your computers are chaos, and you can actually navigate it. I don't know how you do it, but all of that started from something little, a little action. So turning this into sort of a like why I think, or what I feel a good takeaway from this discussion about little stuff would be There's many people in business that, like, you're looking for that transformative thing to happen. You're looking for that transformative thing to happen. You're looking for that, like, that one big boom, and then all of a sudden you become a millionaire. Or that one big boom, and all of a sudden you start getting the larger projects. And you get a flood of people that come in and they're like, oh my gosh, I want all your stuff. And I'll tell you, that's not how this works. That's not how it works. Your growth in business will start from a collective or an accumulation of a bunch of little stuff happening. Daily basis, you reach out to 20, 30 people. It might not even take you more than 10, 20 minutes to do this. Every day you're reaching out to 20, 30 people. At the end of the week, you've actually connected or you've engaged with 100 people. At the end of the month, that's 400 people. At the end of the year, that's 5,000 people. 5,000 people at the end of the year that you've connected with because you started with something small, 20, 30 people a day. And if you were to think, what would your business look like if you had, let's half that, right? You connected with 5,000 people. What does your business look like if you had 2,000 people that bought your stuff? What does your business look like if you had 2,000 people that bought your stuff? Right? So, but again, I think too many people are looking for the big transformative thing to happen. They're going for whales. They're going for like, yeah, I'm going to do something for this big thing to happen. And I'll tell you, that's not how this works. Focus a little bit more on the little stuff. Focus a little bit more on the little stuff. The way that you do anything is the way you do everything. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. So what normally happens is, like, again, like, you have these little habits, and it could be how you use your time. I know some people that every single day after, like, let's say you have a job, every single day they leave their job and they do these little sets of things, and then all of a sudden the next day comes. And then the next day, the little set of things, and then the next day comes. And in their mind consciously wants to see a big transformation, but their subconscious is not used to doing the little stuff. So without making this a habit discussion, because that's a totally different discussion, make sure you look at little things that is happening within your business, within your personal life, within your professional life, within your relationship. Look at everything and begin to pay a little bit closer attention to the small stuff. Most businesses that have gone through some huge transformation, they didn't make transformative changes. Most businesses that went through huge transformation, they didn't make transformative changes. They didn't make huge changes. They made little changes. And the little changes accumulated and formed that transformation. So focus on the little stuff. All right. I love speaking. When it comes to me, I preach organic marketing. I preach organic marketing because I've seen that the world promotes consistency. The world promotes consistency. I've had people reach out to me and say, Mike, you know what, that one message made me contact you. Or, hey, Mike, like, this one thing made me. The world rewards consistency. So if you are struggling in your business, from a sales standpoint, focus on small changes that you can make, small actions that you can take to accumulate a mass of some type of, like, transformative thing. Like, don't look at, and again, like, I always say that I'm never immune to any of this stuff that I'm telling you. I am not immune to any of this stuff that I'm telling you. What normally happens to me, this is what normally happens to me. I drink my cup of coffee in the morning. And I would say about 20 minutes after I drink a cup of coffee, I feel like Superman. When I tell you I feel like Superman, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm on this high, and I'm like, I want to write that ebook. I want to finish that course. I'm gonna make this big program. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna start this big business, and like my mind takes me on this high, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, you know what? I want to start that business. Let me start doing stuff now. Let me start doing stuff now. And because I'm on that high, I start thinking about the big transformative stuff, right? And then what happens every time I'm not focused, but I'm thinking about this big transformative stuff, and then my mind starts to settle back to its state, right? My mind starts to settle. And then once my mind settles, the idea or the thing goes back to where it came from. Okay? It goes back to where it came from, and it sits there. And in my mind, I have to now go back to sort of real life, right? The reason certain things don't come to fruition is because I didn't look at it from a standpoint of, hey, I'm on this high, grandiose idea. Let me pocket that, but let me lay out a set of small iterative things that I can do over the course of the next coming weeks, and over the next coming weeks to build to make that happen. I suffer from a level of I suffer from certain type, like this type of anxiety, where if I don't think that I can do the big thing, then my mind escapes wanting to do it. So like if I look at something and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's really big, sometimes my mind subconsciously gives up, and then my conscious follows, and I get anxious. So like an example would be like let's say I'm working on a website, right? Let's say I'm working on a website and I realize that the list of changes is enormous, right? If I'm looking at the list of changes and I'm looking at the site and I'm seeing like, man, like ain't no way I'm finishing this year. I get anxious. And my mind actually, it sort of shuts down. And that's bad because that level of anxiety can inhibit you from achieving massive things. But now if I were to switch it up a little bit and start to say, hey, you know what? Let me look at this I'm expecting not to finish this today. I'm expecting not to finish this week. But if I look at it from a bite-sized standpoint, small things, then my mind can start to see little successes, and then those little successes will ultimately build to begin achieving great things. All right. So again, I wanted this to be short. If you have any questions, let me know now. I'll stay on for another 5 minutes. But what are some of the things that you guys have experienced from a little stuff standpoint? What are some of the things that within your business, within your life, you've encountered that you would say like the little stuff amounts to big stuff? I'd love to hear some of your feedback. What's some of your feedback? Little stuff. And my voice is a little raspy because I am I think I'm coming down with something. Any questions? I think everyone kind of fell off here. Questions. Mike, I wanted to make content, but it was so overwhelming. This weekend I created a weekly schedule for video content. Anxiety went way away. Man, content is even, Mike, that's another great example of like when people socially, like people look at social media as, I want to get to 10,000 followers, and I want to get to 10,000 followers. So they immediately like they go on this high trying to get to that, versus saying, hey, what little thing can I achieve to just become consistent? And you will build to it, but it just takes consistency. It's a marathon. Almost everything is a marathon nowadays. There's no sprints anymore. Almost everything is a marathon. Almost everything is an absolute marathon. Love it, love it, love it. That's a great example. I am confused on why this does this. That's so weird. Anything else? Any other questions? Because I do have to hop off here. I'm about to hop on another call in a minute here. But again, like some of the examples that I just rattled off, just dropping a bunch of change and, walking away with $100-something, the clothes on the bed amounting to a ton, the files on the desktop, all of this stuff, even the videos, one video, looking at content from a standpoint of it being this overwhelming thing and relieving your anxiety just by focusing on that one video. The people, sales, just focus on 15, 20 people, focus on that, do that consistently, and it will ultimately pay off. You will build, I promise, you will build. There's nowhere not to. All right, all right, you guys, hope you have an amazing Monday. Talk to you guys soon. All right, take care.